English general dictation 100 words per minute. Ready, start. Mr. Chairman, I rise to support this bill. Several opportunities have arisen during the present session for honorable members of this House to express their views on this very important subject, and government has come in for a great deal of criticism. I repeat, sir, what I said on a previous occasion, that government cannot be held entirely responsible for this state of affairs in the country. After all, if this is the standard of morals of the people, what can be government do? These things cannot be eradicated by legislation, but as one honorable member rightly remarked, it is not only our own country that is suffering from these vices of corruption and bribery. There are many other countries in the world which are facing similar problems. We have to think of ways and means to deal with them, but wholly to blame the government of the country for this state of affairs, I do not think is fair. Para. My honorable friend Shri Bhupesh Gupta, who was speaking this morning, has been harping in the same tune. I have nothing against him because I also have been criticizing government in this respect a great deal, but I certainly think that some tact is required in dealing with these vital social problems. I saw in the galleries a large number of American students who are visiting this country. When the honorable member was speaking, and for them or other foreigners to get this impression of this country of ours is not a very good thing from any citizen's point of view. I do not say that we should hide our faults. I think it is our duty to bring our faults and vices to the forefront and try to improve the conditions as much as possible. But as said just now, it is not only our country which is addicted to these vices. There are other countries also, but I do not think that in those other countries, in the legislatures, in time and out of time, this sort of criticism is leveled at government only. The government cannot go on enacting measures and legislations to wipe out corruption and bribery. After all, we must realize that there are certain things that cannot be wiped out by legislation, and we should also realize that the government is best which governs the least. It is the duty of every citizen living in this country to improve the social conditions and to set up a higher moral standard. Para. Our responsibility as representatives of the public in this House, as members of Parliament, does not only end in making fiery speeches either from this side of the House or from that side. We must realize that our responsibility lies in a far wider field, and it is for us, for those of us who feel strongly on this thing, to take up the cudgels in this matter. I realized, and I certainly feel that we can do something in order to mitigate these great evils that are unfortunately rampant in our country and in this matter. I feel that the responsibility of women is very great. Women, as the guardians of the household, as the holders of the purse, as the mothers of children, have a far greater responsibility than the men. I am also inclined to say, with due respect and without meaning any disrespect to men, that women are by habit more honest than men. It may be that they lead more sheltered lives. It may be that the temptations in their lives are not so great as they are in the lives of men who have to earn for their families. Whatever may be the reason, there is no doubt that women are more honest than men in many respects, and therefore it is for them to keep a watch on their husbands and their sons and not let them indulge in bribery or bring home more money than they earn by honest and legitimate means, and it is for them to refuse to take that tainted money or to spend it on themselves or their children. They should refuse to marry their daughters to men who indulge in these anti-social activities, and I feel sure that if they took up the cudgels honestly and sincerely in this matter, a great deal of corruption and bribery that we are hearing of day in and day out will certainly disappear. One of my sisters has just mentioned that morality should be taught to our children in schools. I agree with her, but I feel that the mother is the first and fittest person to teach morality to the child, and if she were to bring up her child on the principle that there is no morality higher than honesty, then I do not think many sons and daughters would go astray.